Now let's talk about immediate signs, right? Is he cheating on you right now? And again, this is all probability, but one thing that's reported anecdotally at a very high rate is becoming more secretive with technology in the modern age. So, I'm not saying that you should be able to, different couples can have different arrangements. I've seen lots of things work. I'm not saying that you should be able to, go into your partner's phone and stalk them and turn on location sharing and all that kind of stuff. I do think that there's balance there, and those things, that sort of lack of privacy can become toxic, right? I think you need to trust in order to love.
100%.
But I've also seen people who have basically no privacy boundaries whatsoever have what seem to be very happy relationships. But here's the underlying fact, right? Anecdotally, a lot of people report that during the affair and in the lead up to the affair and right before they caught them, right, that their partner became unusually finicky and secretive with their phone. Hey, can I look up something really quick? Oh, no. They're nervous about the technology. It's giving them anxiety. I'm not saying they're having an affair if they do those things. I'm just saying that that's something that's reported anecdotally at a high rate. Another one that people don't notice, and this is a very sneaky one, is that people who are having an affair, we see that physical attractiveness, right? Your sex appeal. It's more important during the early stages of courtship, right?
Right.
So when you first meet someone, when you're dating them, this is when people put the most effort into their beauty, right? And anecdotally, this proves well for me. I was just talking to my girlfriend, and she commented that I never blow dry my hair anymore, and that I used to blow dry it into like a beautiful coif. And I was like every time I saw her, right? She even teased me for it. She's like, when you go to sleep, do you go to sleep with your hair up or down? Right? She's making fun of me. I don't own a blow dryer. Actually, I think it broke at some point and I just never replaced it. I'm not sure what happened. This is, it's a long relationship. But point being is that when you first meet someone and you're courting them, you are unconsciously, and in some cases consciously, going to put in so much more effort into your physical appearance. And it's totally natural for that to decline over the course of your relationship. So knowing that, right, and again, pairing it with what we see, if someone's having an affair, let's say you've been married to someone for, 8 years, or you've been dating them for 3 or whatever. And, normally, they leave the house in whatever they're wearing. They don't really care too much. They eat what they want. They hit the gym occasionally, but if they miss it, they miss it. And then suddenly, they're on a strict diet. They're hitting the weights consistently, right? They're spending money on clothes. They're looking good. They're leaving the house with, fresh cut, looking fantastic. Suddenly they're trying to look good, and they weren't trying to look good 6 months ago. That's interesting.
Telling. Yeah.
It suggests that there might be some courtship happening. You might naively think, oh, it's for me. But is it, right? There are some contexts where it could be. All of us have been in situations where it's like, oh, I'm in a long relationship and I want to get the spark back going. Let me put in some more effort, right? And that's totally fine. But I would say that if you don't have that type of context to explain it, I would be a little nervous, right? Not unduly so, but that's another sign.
If I can add to that point, again, with the stories I've collected, it's funny because the more stories I get to the point where I can predict who they're going to do it with, when it happened, and how it happened. It's all very common. It's almost cliche. But for the most part, to the situation you just described, couple gets married, they have kids. Of course, the woman's body goes through so many hormonal changes to create a human being. It takes time for them to kind of recoup to what they were. And sometimes with the baby and stress and work, those first 4 to 5 years of the child being in their lives is stressful. Then the child goes to school. And then that's when she has 8 hours to herself now. So that's when she starts, okay, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to start working out. Before you know it, she's starting to drop the baby weight. She's feeling great. She's fitting into clothes that she hasn't fit in since before the pregnancy. So she's on, the confidence is super high, but then the attention starts coming.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And they're not used to that. They haven't experienced that attention. This goes for men too. I lost weight. I started getting attention. Before you know it, temptation got inside their heads, and just temptation alone is like that idea, a plot in that movie Inception. Once you put an idea in somebody's head, it becomes like a fungus, and they just started getting consumed with the idea of the what if, maybe, possibly, and they went ahead and pursued it. But that's usually when it happened, that 5th or 6th year, when they finally had time to themselves to kind of get to working out and feeling good again. The attention came, and that's when it happened.
Yeah. So that's funny. So sometimes the cart follows the horse. Right. And so I guess what I would say is that it can be the case that they are improving their looks in order to attract someone else. Like it could also be the case that improving their looks, I'm going to use the boring technical terms. This is what we call the emergence of a mate value imbalance, right? So you and your partner, you're together, right? She's pregnant, You guys both get out of shape during the period when you're, those early days when you've got the young baby. Very normal. Men's testosterone tends to decline for adaptive reasons. Obviously, so testosterone helps you compete with other males for mates, right? But you don't want to be, if you think of the most high T guy, that's not the best dad, right? And so what we see is that when men pair bond and have kids, their testosterone basically halves in order to make them a better father instead of a competitor. Right.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So and this is why a lot of men, they have a baby and they're like, where did my muscles go? Why am I getting so fat? Right. Like I have no idea what's happened here. It's totally natural. And it's probably for the best. I mean, some guys try to resist it. They go on the TRT, but it's like realistically, it's like you want to be a good dad and nature prepared you to be a good dad. But let's, take a step back. The two of you get out of shape together, right? With the kids, right? You're focused on that. And then one of you, is staying home 8 hours a day, or one of you, just takes on a new fitness routine just to get things back, and the other one doesn't. So let's say you were both 8s because you were hot,
right? 8s, yeah.
And then you both went down to a 4, right? Because natural, totally acceptable, natural getting out of shape with having kids, and then one of you climbs back to a 7. Well, now there's a mate value imbalance. And mate value imbalances, they're very predictive of relationship dissatisfaction. They're also quite predictive of infidelity.